So today's nightmare-filled adventure, we're kind of abandoning the nightmares to give you something special. We're on a boat.
I'm on a boat! I'm on a boat! Everybody look at me, cause I'm sailing on a boat!
90's cruise, baby!
So we got a bunch of 90's bands on board with us today, and we're going to do our best to show you what we can. Maybe get some autographs, but we're definitely going to give you guys a lot of footage, even more than the convention, I believe. But come along and see what we see, and we really hope you enjoy. And we also have a special announcement. We're engaged. So we didn't film that, but this whole cruise is going to be our celebration. So come along.
Freshest 90s party ever!
For the next 5 days, you do not have to cook, you do not have to clean, you do not have to drive, you do not have to work, you definitely, sure as shit, don't have to be sober. So I'm gonna ask you, how is this crowd doing? Let me hear you!
We sure hope that you're ready for some killer concerts. We've got theme nights, we've got parties, we've got competitions, and so much more. All to bring in the 90s era in all its glory.
Hell yeah, and as Joey mentioned, the special part about this one is you are the first ones. You set the tone, you set the bar, you lead the way to a party that every year, once a year, all of us 90s kids get to get away from all the modern day BS and step back into the 90s to celebrate the decade that is near and dear to our hearts.
That's absolutely right, JT. And speaking of near and dear to our hearts, we absolutely could not do this cruise without our 90s crew. Give it up for them, they're right behind us. So I'm gonna do a little bit of introducing, starting with my man over here. Give it up for the dope kid. Captain Meryl Stubing.
Over my head. Sorry.
Dr. Odyssey.
Love boat trips.
I don't know about you, but that video they just played, if that's the last video I see before I go, that would make me very happy, right? To know that we were part of all of that, that makes us who we are. I just know that tonight you're going to party. I can see we've got the partiers in the house.
Absolutely.
What have you got tomorrow?
Tomorrow, you make me come. You make me complete. You make me completely miserable.
So hey, he don't have any mounters, so he's gonna put his. Are those his new AirPods with the hearing aid feature? Because you're gonna get your. Can you hear? We got some stage volume. All right. We need to
waking up and everything's just fucked up. So like, well, how are we gonna paint that picture without throwing some shit like a car in the front yard and things that just, you know, we can all relate to a little bit. But yeah, we have our moments.
AJ,
Does that answer it, Kevin?
AJ, what kind of car did you have when that song was written?
63 Cadillac sedan DeVille.
Yeah. So when the car's in the front yard, that's the car I think of.
Because it's a black Cadillac. We were like a vintage Cadillac gang back then. But I lived. The funny thing is, when we wrote that song, I was living in a condo, so I didn't even have a front yard. Now I live in Tennessee, and we actually do park our cars in the front yard.
Yeah.
Without that one. Super smooth. Can we get a bottle of Eagle Rare? We would like, as a special encore performance bottle.
I think so.
If you get some of our older videos, we were pretty nuts off stage, like all the time. Now we're pretty mellow off stage, and when we hit stage, we go back in time and feel like exactly the way we did in '99 and the early 2000s. So it's great. We get fed off the energy of the crowd and the music, and it takes us back. So.
And I think the whole story is, everyone always says like you blew up like immediately, but of course that's never the true story. I mean, similar stories of Sugar Ray and No Doubt and stuff. You've been doing it for a long time, and but then when you finally got it, it's like booyah.
Yeah, we're a work in progress.
10-year overnight.
10-year overnight sensation. Yeah.
Yeah, we started
a couple of different bands.
Yeah, but the same.
When the copy isn't working.
A couple different names. Jeremy and I are brothers for people that don't know, and then Kevin over here. We went to junior high together, and so we started the band.
I can't believe you two are split up right now. Actually, I've always seen you together the whole time.
So we're the ones that came without our wives. So we've been like having dates, dinner dates, breakfast dates, and so like we're teaming up.
Pretty amazing. Always good to be a part of.
Or when you're embarrassed to be a part of.
Actually one that we were a little bit embarrassed by originally, and now we're super proud of, and most people don't know this, but y'all know that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg? So there's a song that's in the movie 3 different times and called Wasted Generation, and it's like Zakk Wylde on guitar, and like it's the all-star band from the movie, But we wrote that song about 3 or 4 years before like Mount Yosemite came out and all that, and with this famous songwriter Desmond Child, and we wrote it together. and it's in the movie 3 times, and that thing's always getting played like on the weekends, VH1 or whatever. And now it's kind of like, dude, that's crazy. We wrote that. I remember we wrote it in Desmond's backyard, like we were just kids. But so that one, not really a lit song, but and there's a lot of them too, because we were on tour so much that we didn't go to the movies, and so we would hear like, oh, your song's gonna be in this movie, or it's gonna be in that movie, or whatever, and we'd sort of forget about it, and then like a few years later, you're home for a couple days, or you're in a hotel room, there's a movie on, you hear your song, you're like, oh shit, we're on that one.
I mean, the American Pie movies have, we've been featured in them a few times, and I think to me that's, growing up, we saw movies like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and a lot of those teenage movies where you're going to see someone get naked, and it was kind of cool, get drunk and act crazy. But for us, American Pie was sort of that, one of those series of movies of that next generation. So it sort of exposed us to the same people that when you think of some of the movie soundtrack songs like in Fast Times, you remember the scene in the movie, and it's like, oh yeah, you're picturing, Phoebe Cates walking out of the pool or whatever. And so it's so cool to be a part of a movie that sort of has that for some of these college kids.
Oh, it is great to be here on the Royal Caribbean. You guys having fun? I like to call this the voyage of earworms. Because everywhere you go, there's some song like, oh, I remember that song, or I love that song. We're kind of honored to be part of it, and we're really grateful you're here. And thanks again, Lisa Loeb. We love you. All right, enough of my yakking. What do you say? Let's go. Once upon a midnight TV was on my head. I couldn't escape like my brain because the heart brings me to die. I didn't know love. This is cool. We don't get our own microphones.
Pardon me?
We don't get our own microphones.
Oh, that's right. There's a cruise ship. We're not playing.
So before they get their microphones, I'd like to talk a bit about my bandmate. Check it out. Never mind. Test. I wasn't here. The minute they asked us, we were like, yeah. But
thank you, Prince. The purple one. Oh my God.
I had a whole. Saturday Night Live, I'm more into comedy than I ever was musicians. Mm-hmm. So Saturday Night Live meant a lot to me. It still does. I'm a total Saturday Night Live head. And I'm amazed that it's a 50-year tradition. But I was going to bring a picture of a sea anemone, and after we were done, I was going to fight the real anemone.
This was right after
This
was right after the
show. Well, it was a few years, but apparently somebody mentioned it to Lauren, and he's like, they cannot do it. We will throw them the hell out of here. We're not bringing that up if you don't mention it.
Lauren, thank you.
And so finally I was like, I got record people. He didn't come to us. So I've got my record people, like, John, you can't do it. You don't want to alienate these people. And I finally said, okay, give me $100 and I won't do it. And Al Marks goes, whoop. And suddenly a little light bulb in my head.
Then it began.
Thanks, Al. Every time we had press, as Runaround was being a hit, I said, I'm ready to do press, where's my $100? And all of the record guys were able to go along with it. They were fine with that. It's just, it's petty cash. But one guy, I can't remember his name.
Charlie Lundano.
Charlie Lund-fucking-Dano. Wow, he was this whiny little bitch.
How do you remember that, Sandra?
And he...
This is his job.
But I still was getting $100 bills under the table until finally, this is how it works in the record business. When our hit was over, my friend Pat O'Connor was the A&M in Philly, goes, John, there's some press outside. Give me $100, I'll make them go away.
And it's like, oh, the equation has changed now. The cool thing about that SNL was it was the season, it was a new cast premiere. So they had just like revamped the whole cast. And it was Will Ferrell's first show. And we went afterwards to like a couple after parties, and they were all so like they were so jazzed themselves.
I went with you,
Taz.
and we ended up going around, and we ended up at Will Ferrell's apartment after his first SNL show with all the other cast members.
They were so jazzed.
They were so.
Came up that day. Just
Father mine, take me back to the day. Going out to situation where it's easy to look down on you. Think you like to be the victim, think you like to be in
I have had so much fun, not only seeing some of my favorite bands, but hanging out with you guys. This has been a ball, and tonight is the last night of summer camp.
Yes, it is.
No, I've made so many friends too. They're the best friends I ever had. I can't wait to see the band tonight. I want to get to it. I love Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
I just want to say, we're all strangely on Sirius XM, just in case anyone, I have lots of people who came up and said hello. But, Julie and the lovely Lisa have 90s on 9. I'm on Lithium, as well as Dave Holmes. It's all 90s, so we're having a good time. Maybe you'll stop by and listen once in a while. So thank you. Thanks, everyone, for saying hello. So everybody, are you ready? Should we do it?
Yeah, let's
Should we
do
do it?
Can we just let everybody know that this is the best 90s cruise that's ever going to roll the ocean? So, thank you. Pat on the back to you. We've still got so much more to come, so let's keep the energy in the room. What say you for Gin Blossom?
I get to speak to Gin Blossoms. I'm a huge fan, and also friends, but also a huge fan. They have written some of the most catchy songs. Even when I just hear their band name, the songs.
Trophy, if you could do that. And we were very lucky that A&M had the power to get us on, and we had a hit record. So we performed on Saturday Night Live in March of '96. The host was Phil Hartman, and I remember being so thrilled that he was going to be the host. And I knew the director at the time. Her name was Beth McCarthy, and Beth had told Phil that I was a big fan. He walked right up to me, shook my hand, and he said, "Hi, Robin, I'm Troy McClure, and you may remember me from such educational films as Locker Room Towel Fight, The Blinding of Larry Driscoll." That's certainly in the top 5 moments that I've had in this band.